Tori ఆత్మీయులందరికీ మీ RJJaya నమస్కారం. జై హింద్ కార్యక్రమానికి స్వాగతం సుస్వాగతం. A very warm welcome to all our Tori listeners on to Jai Hind this evening. The temperature and time now in Hong Kong is 7:05 p.m. and the temperature here currently is 28.3 degrees Celsius with a relative humidity of 83%. And back in India, at Delhi, the temperature is 34 degrees Celsius and the humidity is 61%. The weather is quite warm and nice and festive. Firstly, a very happy Raksha Bandhan to you all. Tori ఆత్మీయులందరికీ హృదయపూర్వక రక్షా పండుగ శుభాకాంక్షలు. మరి మన ఈరోజు మనతో పాటు అతిథి ఉన్నారు, వారిని ఆహ్వానించిన తర్వాత మనం కార్యక్రమాన్ని ముందు కొనసాగిద్దాం. మనతో పాటు ఉన్నారు ఈరోజు 1971 బంగ్లాదేశ్ యుద్ధంలో పాల్గొన్న మన లెఫ్టినెంట్ కర్నల్ సుధీర్ కుమార్ బేడి గారు. వారిని అందరూ అభిమానంగా Col.SK.BEDI అని పిలుస్తుంటారు. వారు మనతో పాటు ఉన్నారు ఈరోజు. మీరు ఎవరైనా కూడా వారితో మాట్లాడాలి అంటే తర్వాత తప్పకుండా మాట్లాడచ్చు. ముందుగా వారిని ఆహ్వానిద్దాం. Today on Jai Hind we have with us Lieutenant Colonel Sudhir Kumar Bedi ji, and we shall talk to him about the Bangladesh Liberation War and many more things coming up in the show Jai Hind. So firstly, let's warmly welcome our guest this evening. Good evening, sir. A very warm welcome to Jai Hind on Tori Radio.
Good evening, and it's a pleasure to be on Telugu One and meeting our own people across the channel, across the world, and it's a beautiful feeling, and I feel privileged to be speaking to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's start our evening with our national song Vande Mataram, and request you all to tune in along with the national song. Hopefully you all should be humming along with us. Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam, Malayaj Sheetalam, Shasya Shamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Shubhrajyosna Pulakitayamini, Pullakusumita Drumadala Shobhini, Suhasini, Sumadhura Bhashini, Sukhadam Varadam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram.
Yes, after our national song, every week on Jai Hind, we wish our brothers in uniform and their families who are celebrating their birthdays this week and the upcoming a very happy birthday and a long life to them. So here's a Sanskrit song for them, sir, and request you also to kindly wish our brothers and their families a very happy birthday. And we are very happy to wish you a very happy birthday, which is coming up this August 31st. So a very hearty, happy birthday to you, sir, and wish you many more success and a great life ahead.
Thanks, Jaya. It's a great feeling to be among those whose birthday is falling during this period, and I wish them a very, very happy birthday and many more to come, and each one better than the other. And I wish them a lot of success, lot of contentment in their family life, total happiness with the children, and it's a great feeling to get this opportunity of wishing them. God bless.
Thank you so much, sir. So on behalf of all of us, here's a birthday wish for them in Sanskrit, as we know that our men in uniform have no barriers in language and caste and religion and creed. So here's a song that is in Sanskrit, the hidden language of all the languages.
दिनमिदम् ऐ प्रिय सखे जन्मदिनमिदम् ऐ प्रिय सखे शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम् शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम् प्रार्थयामहे भवशतायुषी प्रार्थयामहे भवशतायुषी ईश्वर सदा त्वां च रक्षतु ईश्वर सदा त्वां च रक्षतु पुण्यकर्मणा कीर्तिमर्जय पुण्यकर्मणा कीर्तिमर्जय जीवनं तव भवतु सार्थकम् जीवनं तव भवतु सार्थकम् जन्मदिनमिदम् ऐ प्रिय सखे जन्मदिनमिदम् ऐ प्रिय सखे शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम् शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम् सर्वदा मुदम् सर्वदा.
Forever. Indeed, we all pray for your long life. May the Lord always protect you. By noble deeds, may you attain fame and may your life be fulfilled. That was the meaning of the song for our brothers and their families. And once again, a very happy Raksha Bandhan festival to all the brothers and sisters across the globe and wishing them a great bond of love. So, sir, this evening, how was your day today, sir?
The day was fine. It was of festivity. Brothers and sisters had come home. And in fact, I even thank the viewers or the listeners, I would say, for devoting this much of time in spite of so many festivity going on of Raksha and Raksha Bandhan, where brothers and sisters are meeting. And those listening, I'm grateful to them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's an honor to have you on Jai Hind today, and we would like to know more about you, as to your family, and how did you start off joining the services. Basically, we'll start on an intro session first about your good self, as many of our listeners and myself, honestly, we do not know much about you. So it'll be an honor for us to know more about you, sir.
You see, Jaya, I was born on 31st August 1950 and grew up to what I am today. And as far as my schooling was concerned, initial schooling was at St. Joseph's High School in Allahabad. It is in UP. And the actual honing up started for my soldiering in a UP Sainik School, Lucknow, where it has also grown in status. It has Paramveer Chakra and Shaurya Chakra and Sena medals, an array of generals to his credit. We feel proud of that. And thereafter, of course, from UP Sainik School, Lucknow, we undertook an entrance exam and did a lot of studies, a lot of coaching by the principal, ensuring that maximum cadets represent in the National Defense Academy at Pune. So that was what it was. And from we do 3 years of training at National Defense Academy. It is a national institute, well recognized, where great leaders of the world have visited, right from President of then USSR and say the other defense ministers, etc., have visited that place. And of course, its ambience is enviable. And we worked hard there, in and out. And from there, we graduated after 3 years and then went to Indian Military Academy, that is at Dehradun. Again, there in Indian Military Academy, the thing we get on to our specialized subjects of military as such, and rest of the naval guys, they go to their institute academies, and so is the case with the Air Force. I came to Indian Military Academy there, and after completing a year there of training, we joined the units. So I was born to Ikkis Rajput on 14th November 1971. And it was a very dramatic thing, which I'll take it on later. And that is what it was. And then my career started, and it was very exciting. It is an enviable start for a soldier, because that was the correct baptization which was done to me by the God Almighty. It had given me the opportunity to participate in 1971 war. So this is how, and I must make a mention here that there was no one really from my family who had gone to the forces till date, but my uncle had taken a lot of interest in me. He always inspired me. He always narrated stories of Eklavya, the type of devotion to the Guru, or say Maharana Pratap or Shivaji, and things like that. It was very great going, and say at the night time listening to all these stories, you get inspired, and that remained ingrained into me, right? And apart from that, of course, the more say a more romantic side of that, a movie called Hum Dono or Hakikat, their songs, they always keep on coming back to me time and again. मैं जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया, हर फिक्र को धुएं में उड़ाता चला गया. So it has been a great going.
Wonderful, wonderful. So basically, as you said, honing up started at home and at school, and that inspired you to lead and make your own path into the forces serving the nation. Awesome.
Yeah.
And so during your, during your becoming a soldier, was there any time that you felt that, of course, you had the passion and the zeal to become a soldier, but somewhere at any point of time, did you ever think that I shouldn't be here?
This was actually never the case. Though I was not a very bright cadet in the sense being good at studies as well as being excellent in outdoors. But the interest was there, that focus was there. Yes, I have to join the forces. So, say for example, even in National Defense Academy, there are a number of tests, both academic as well as say the physical tests, and one was not so endowed with the talent the first time you get through. But then the persistence, the perseverance, that is that 99% perseverance and 1% luck. That aspect always got highlighted in my personality, and I took it on. And by God's grace, I never failed. I always got through my exams. I graduated handsomely from both NDA and IMA, and then, of course, the Army career was way ahead.
Yes, sir. That should inspire many others to follow your path. And coming to our Jai Hind, we were fortunate to have many officers come and speak about their journey and their experiences of war at Kargil. This is the first time we are honored to have a veteran from the 1971. And I would like to open the lines for our listeners so that if they have any calls, if they have any queries, they can call us and talk to us. So I'll take a couple of minutes to tell in Telugu, sir, and then tell them, open the lines and give the numbers to them. So మనతో పాటు ఉన్నారు ఈరోజు కర్నల్ ఎస్కే బేడి గారు, సుధీర్ కుమార్ బేడి గారు. వీరికి 1971 బంగ్లాదేశ్ లిబరేషన్ వార్లో పాల్గొన్నారు. వీరికి అప్పుడు సేనా మెడల్ ఇచ్చి సన్మానించడం జరిగిందనమాట. వారు మనతో పాటు ఉన్నారు ఈరోజు. వారితోటి మాట్లాడాలి అనుకుంటే కాల్ చేయాల్సిన నంబర్స్ యూఎస్ఏ నుంచి అయితే 703-879-6611, యూకే నుంచి 0203287867 ఆస్ట్రేలియా నుంచి అయితే 0280068674, భారతదేశం నుంచి 9666778674. ఏ దేశం నుంచి అయినా సరే మీరు కాల్ చేయొచ్చు. స్కైప్ ద్వారా. స్కైప్ ఐడి tori.live1. So friends, today this evening we have with us Lieutenant Colonel S.K.BEDI ji, Sudhir Kumar Bedi ji, who was very active during Bangladesh Liberation War, and he was awarded Sena Medal for his services at that point of time, and we are honored, and it's a great pleasure to have him on our live talk show. You may call upon these numbers to interact with him. Our numbers are, you're from USA, you can call on 703-879-6611. From UK, you may call on 020-3287-8674. From Australia, 028006-8674. And from Bharat, you may call upon 9666-778674. From anywhere other than these countries, from anywhere in the world, you may call upon our Skype ID. Skype ID is tori.live1, tori.live1. You may as well Gmail to us at toriLive, toriLive, toriLive@gmail.com. Yes, sir, 1971, many of us may relate to that time, but of course the recent generations may not relate to that time period at all, and they may not be knowing much about our Bangladesh Liberation War. Can you briefly tell us about that, sir?
Oh, yes, I'll make an endeavor. You see, at that time, I was just 20, 21 years of age. But then the war itself made us aware of many things. And in that, you see, I will deal it firstly, the overall scenario of the war. This particular 1971 war was forced upon us. It was because of the differences between the Pakistan within itself, that is the West and the East Pakistan, which was separated geographically by almost 1600 kilometers. And probably it was the neglect of the East Pakistan which created dissensions. They created dissatisfaction among the inhabitants there. And because of that, you see, the agitation turned into a movement, into a revolution. That is how it had graduated to declare itself as an independent state under the leadership of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman around March 1971. And since then, it carried on. So in the overall, this concept, you see, what had happened was a lot of refugees came to India. When I say lot of, it was of uneconomical volume. You imagine 9 million refugees. So the war was almost forced upon us. Hectic diplomatic efforts by the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi took place. And of course, our hero, Field Marshal Manekshaw, who in his overall strategy, it can be seen in various stages. The first one was his moral courage to tell the government that we need preparatory time, we need training time. Until unless we are prepared for that, we cannot go into the operations. Therefore, he bought time for the armed forces to prepare themselves and take on the task which was given at hand. That was to push back the refugees. Pushing back does not mean creating, cruel moves on them or causing damage to their site. It was more of totally a pure military operation. operation of maneuvers, where probably you need not confront the enemy headlong and incur too many casualties. It was more of outflanking the enemy, surrounding him, breaking his will, and thereafter making him surrender, both in local battles as well as in the overall strategy.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would pardon me. We have a friend online. We'll take the call, sir.
Right.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to Jai Hind.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
May I know your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah. So very nice to hear Col.S.K.BEDI. Wanted to understand how does he during the conflict, how does he manage fear?
Oh yes, sir. That's a good question.
As a soldier, he may have faced quite a few odds in the battle. So how does he manage fear? That's a question.
Very kind of you. Thank you. May I know your name, sir? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So managing of fear, you see, it is a well-known fact that fear definitely comes to you, right? But there are many motivating factors which you imbibe over a period of time. That is firstly your training itself. It makes you confident. If whatever moves you are making to be victorious over the enemy. So it can be divided into two: the moral courage and the physical courage. Moral courage is what is more important. It is in the mind. Until unless the mind is strong, your physical abilities will not be activated. So getting on to the moral courage, this is part of the training. You remember we do some naughty work in the class. The instructor asks who has done it.
Yes.
It is the moral courage. Either that guy will own up or the complete class will face the punishment. So this training starts right from the academy days and carries on. Then is the spirit of the regiment. I say, for example, join Rajput. Rajput has got hundreds of years of history behind it, of valor, of being victorious, and the traditions which have been set there. So that itself builds up in your persona. So the regimental loyalty. Then comes your that small platoon which you are commanding of 30 men. The responsibility towards them that encourages you to fight. So, and then comes your personal honor also. So all these things, when they get together, they instill in you a current in you as the bullets are flying around you. So that is what it is. Otherwise, if you are not trained so well, or not conditioned so well, you will hit the ground as the first volley of bullets come. This is what it is. Have I answered the question?
Oh, yes, sir. Basically, to get an idea of what the war was and how a soldier feels during the course of that time. That's true. And many youngsters at that point of time did definitely want to join the forces and serve the nation. And the passion and the zeal in the air was totally different as what we see now. And to this, we would like to introduce our listeners to a small bit of a song which says, "I'm a soldier." And listening to this, I think we all will try and relate to and visualize what you have been saying. So a very small song from our armed forces. It says, "I'm a soldier." Please stay tuned, sir.
for my nation is my dharma. I will train my mind, body and spirit to fight. Excel in all weapons of war, current and future. Always protect those in need. Be truthful and forthright. Be humane, cultured and compassionate. Fight and embrace the consequences willingly. God, give me strength that I ask nothing of you.
So that's our brave men in uniform, and we are very proud of their services to our nation. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, at the earlier point, you mentioned that you wanted to tell us briefly about 21 Rajput, one of your postings there.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I'll just refer back to the last line, what he was saying. There is nothing needed by the soldier. You see, I had just today morning itself, I had read a line which I would just want to quote, that
Sure.
Indian Army needs everything except courage. It has got a deep-rooted meaning, right? The Indian Army needs nothing but except the courage. Courage is just, they are full of it. They perform, they execute, and they achieve. So to that extent, that is the thing. What they need is what the citizens and the government and the people and the governing bodies need to focus on. So this is that. Yeah. As far as 21 Rajput, you see, 21 Rajput, we call it. And you see, it is my home. I was born there. And it was a very interesting induction into 21 Rajput, because very few get this chance that a soldier gets baptized into in this manner. I passed and got my commission on 14th November 1971. I was earlier thinking of I was posted to 21 Rajput. It was at the right as the situation would have it. I wrote a letter giving the detail of my train and everything, that I am coming to Dimapur, and complete program. It was at Kishanganj on the way to Dimapur, that is in the east. Right, Kishanganj is also, I think, on the border of Bihar and Bengal. So there was a young lieutenant, young officer, who peeped into my compartment and said, "Is there any Lieutenant Bedi posted in this compartment?" So I said, "Yes, I am Lieutenant Bedi." And I was sitting in kurta pajama with my old style of hold-all, my bedding with Rajai and all that thing. So, and the train had very little time to halt. So it blew the whistle. He said, "Saab ka saman bahar pheko." I found 4 Jawans got in with battle dress, having bayonets at their back and pack on their shoulders and things like that. They quickly got in and they folded my hold-all and threw it on the Kishanganj station. So, and then my trunk, the same cadet's trunk, black color, huge box, they somehow managed not to throw it and get it down. And when I got down at kurta pajama, people around got around as if some spy is caught. They were told कि भाई आप लोग जाओ, कुछ नहीं है यहाँ पे. I went into, then I was asked to change in the waiting room. I had no field dress for the battle as such. I never knew the battle is already on. So I went there in the waiting room, changed into my normal ceremonial dress and came out. So, and from there, both myself and that time Lieutenant Manjunath, both of us went in, and I joined the unit in the concentration area. Concentration area is basically a preparatory area for the battle. It was within our own international border. But the next day we were to cross, launch attack, and continue the advance to the extent ordered. So this was my induction. Say for example, the pujari came in and he had a tilak on my forehead, chanted few mantras, both in dress itself, and that is how I got inducted into the Rajputs.
Wow.
So that,
It's a very rare honor to be given that kind of induction.
that's right.
Yes.
And thereafter, you see, I had participated in. I'll cut it short. I think I participated in Battle of Pachagar. Okay. This Pachagar was a place, township. It had staff quarters. It had sugar mill, and there one had learned. My commanding officer had Colonel Alawat. I must make a mention, a brave man and a very cool-headed planner. So. He asked me and my platoon commander, Colonel Chakravarti, to take on this particular place, Pachagar, and see it should come into our hands at the earliest. We were also given, say, a troop of tanks, that means 3 tanks, to reinforce us with our infantry effort and infantry effort. And in that, what had happened was that initially the enemy was very quiet on the other side of the road in staff quarters hidden, and he was watching our moves coolly. But as soon as I said one jawan, देखो तुम फलानी जगह bunker में position लो, तो मतलब as soon as he went into that bunker, there was fire all around, and there was so much of fire. If for a second one was dazed, and after that we started maneuvering how to get across the road. And in that process, when we were moving, when I was trying to assess as a platoon commander what would be the way to get onto the other side, 2 bullets hit my helmet, right? And I couldn't make it out. It was just tanan, and a little bit of blood oozing out from my head onto my cheeks. The radio operator, which was next to me, you see, he said, "Saab khoon." So I just touched it. But then what happened? I just shoved it off. मैंने कहा भूल जाओ इस चीज and get along. So in the radio set there is a system where the commanding officer was listening. He thought that I have got injured. But then I reassured them that I am very much active, very much I can handle this situation, and we went in with the help of the tanks, with the help of the artillery, with the help of my platoon commander. All these things, when they were in unison, we captured that place, Pachagar, and we took on 20 prisoners there. So this is a small thing. There were a lot of lessons to be learned as a soldier, you see, infantry tank cooperation, how we cooperated, or our minor tactics, which kept us alive. Had this bullet been 1 inch lower, probably I had not been speaking to Jaya or the people at large on the channel at the moment. So that was the wonderful aspect of that battle. And of course, the achievement, thereby furthering my bigger formations, my army headquarters, or the nation's aim of capturing area, territory at the earliest. So this was one. The second one also I'd like to make a mention because it is called the Battle of Khansama. Why I want to make a mention that it is our battle honor. Like an individual is given an award of Mahavir Chakra, Paramvir Chakra, or Sena Medal, and things like that. Similarly, the battalion is given an award collectively, and that is known as the Battle Honor. So this was a place called Khansama, short of Saidpur, and this would the capture of which would have opened the complete roadway towards Saidpur and Thakurgaon and Dhaka side. So that was the sort of importance of this place. The whole battalion had launched attack. In this also, I'll cut out the minor tactics. But what played the role, you see, just before the evening of that attack, say today evening, myself and my company commander is sitting, and the plans for the battle have already been made. We were supposed to attack, move at 3 o'clock in the morning, cross the river, get behind the Khansama village or township, and then attack them. So this was the whole plot. And mind you, what happened? When in the evening, myself and company commander was sitting, I was feeling something is going to go wrong. So, probably a good son, I would say, I just prayed that Gayatri mantra 7 times. And I said, whatever may happen, but I should not get hurt in my bones. Because bones means you might get category at an early age of 20 years, and then you have to fight it out for the rest of the period. So this was the small wish or a big wish I had made. And then certain other things were also coming up, in that they say if I am lobbing a grenade and the grenade gets burst into my hand will be blown up. Now this incident happened because one of our soldiers in a previous attack of Fakirahad Bridge, when he was lobbing the grenade, the bullet hit his hand and his hand was blown up. So same thing was clicking into me. So ultimately, time came, we got up, started moving towards the objective, crossed the river, stood in line, went behind the enemy, not knowing till a very late stage. And then, of course, the fire was all over. So as I was nearing with my platoon to the objective, right? To the objective, a volley of bullets came in from the company headquarters. It was a pakka building inside the harvested fields. That was the harvesting period. So the fields were harvested. So in that, the volley of bullet came. Now what happened? My mortar number 1, he was a small bomber, which is given to the platoon commander. Now he got the bullet, I got the bullet, and both of us fall down together. But the difference was great. I looked left, and I found that Vijay was wobbling blood out of his mouth because he was unlucky to get the brunt of the bullet on his head. But I said, Vijay, Vijay, and he just fluttered to answer my call, and he was no more. But then the battle had to go on. The soldiers were passing by, and I was left behind. The enemy knew I was there, but he could not see because there was a thick hedge. So he could not aim at me and fire. So now I got the bullet in the knee. I could not walk. I had to crawl. So that was the sort of thing. Now the bleeding was taking place. So while one of the Jawans threw a field dressing at me, he said, "Ye le lo," and he went ahead for the capture of the battle. And then I quietly tied it down. So this is how. So ultimately, we captured this Khansama place. And then people started looking for me. Where is that young boy? So ultimately, I shouted, I am here. And then they recovered. Then first aid was given. And then the movement back took place. Right? Now imagine what sort of movement back. First, I was piggyback. Then the doctor gave me first aid dressing. Then I was put on a bullock cart. Right. From bullock cart, they took me to the shore of the river which we had crossed. And from there, I was put into the boat. And on the other side was the ambulance. And from there, I was evacuated the night itself. And when they wanted to give me the morphine injection, which subsides the pain, I said, no, I don't need that. I'm more painful because I am feeling hungry. So I told Jawan there, कि भाई मेरे को खाना चाहिए, आप मेरे को morphine injection नहीं चाहिए. अब मुझे खाना ला, and that is how ultimately I was evacuated to Baghdad. So it was a good comradeship, terrible spirit, fantastic matlab, I would say, and that is how one is today um, absolutely straight. Now the catch here is, I told you, I said na haddi mein nahi lagni chahiye. So I had got the bullet in the knee. The knee complex is totally a bone complex, right? But yet the bullet entered from one side and came out from the other side, not disturbing even a single bone, not chipping off a single bone. And today, still at this age, I'm going to gym. So that is what at times I like to say, if miracles happen to you, you have to realize what was the miracle.
Wow, indeed. It was actually nerve-chilling the way you were saying. I could literally imagine the battlefield and you screaming Vijay, Vijay there. Yeah, we're speechless. You're speechless for your bravery and the act on the field. We can imagine how our soldiers, day in and out, work out on the battlefield. And at that young age, at very young age, it's amazing. Definitely, as you say, miracles do happen, and God is great, and He shows us the path. And you happen to be there on for the Battle of Pachgar, and you were there for the Battle of Khansama. And of course,
this was on 13th December. Then 16th December, the ceasefire was there. Instrument of surrender was signed by General Niazi. And though, of course, I was away from the scene, I was already in my base hospital at Bagdogra in India, near Siliguri. But then all this happened. Instrument of surrender and surrender of the troops wherever they were, the Pakistani troops. And it was, now, in the overall sense, I would say the 1971 war is an example for the world. We created, we prepared for the war, we executed it meticulously, and thereafter we achieved what many others have not done. We created a nation and liberated a race. It is a feat which all armies do not get an opportunity to do. So this is what it is. And of course, the feelings which flowed when the Indian Army came in and the locals walked in, old and young, touching your feet. At times it happened that an old man touching my feet, I had to touch his feet because I felt very embarrassed. So those were the feelings at that juncture. And it was the height of professionalism, height of conduct, the good conduct. Indian Army conducted itself well.
Yes, yes. Then and now, Indian Army, for the matter, armed forces have been working on and, as you said, meticulously surveying before considering their own self. As we see now in Kerala, the amount of service, dedication, the passion to serve the humanity is speechless. I have no words to express their services. But here's a small song again about the Indian Army that I would like to play. And on behalf of all our listeners, this is what we understand Indian Army is. Here it is for all our listeners and for you too, sir. I'm sure you are one of them.
Yeah, definitely. I look forward.
From the dense and humid jungles of Arunachal to the barren expanse of the Rann of Kutch, from the beaches of Port Blair to the high-altitude desert in Ladakh, the Indian Army is ever ready, be it war or as the ever-dependable instrument of the state and sustaining national pride. The Indian soldier stands steadfast and strong, knowing that the aspirations of over 1 billion Indians rests on his shoulders. He soldiers on, unrelenting in his pursuit of excellence. The nation expects, the army delivers. In heat and cold, in pleasure and pain, stoic and steadfast, you will find him living by his honor code, willing to pay even with his life, for the dignity of our nation, the idea of India.
A big salute from myself and from all our listeners. A big salute to our armed forces and Indian Army. Thank you so much for being our protectors and saviors. And so quickly, I would like you to, as you had mentioned to us, the role of Pakistan, and obvious and true, military suffering from psych of defeat and syndrome of power. In good faith, of course, and minimum force. Can you please mention us about this?
You see, this was basically in the context of the Kashmir issue. You see.
Right, sir.
Without going into history of how the accession took place and things like that, I'm not a very expert on that. But the fact today is that Pakistan is involved in the terrorism in Kashmir. There is no denying to the fact, and anybody hobnobbing with the Pakistan is doing an act which is anti-national. So as far as the Pakistan, you see, in Pakistan, the power flows from the military. Though they have an elected prime minister and the government, but yet the power actually flows from the military and from the ISI unit, which is their game planner. Now, if you see, right from 1947, the military has always tried a venture where they can win over the Indian Army or the armed forces, but it has never happened. Whether it was 47, 65, 71, 99 Kargil War, and the Braves went down. The Braves went down, but they never let the nation down. So therefore, in the ultimate analysis, when you sit down quietly, why it is happening, why still the military is persisting, or the government of Pakistan is persisting to interfere in the Kashmir issue. The basic fact is they want to redeem their honor, which they are not able to do it. And of course, the military's personal interest to be in power. They want to keep the pot boiling, either through direct confrontation, which they failed miserably. Now they are trying to have a proxy war, and through infiltration, through invoking the terrorists and instigating the public, the Kashmiris at large, and that too confined to the valley. Though, of course, J&K as such consists of Leh and Ladakh, the valley of Srinagar, and then the Jammu also. But then this is the plot as far as they are concerned. So they are suffering. They are suffering from the psyche of defeat, and they are having that power syndrome, which they want to continue in their interest. So this is exactly what I feel.
Thank you, sir. And as we are running out of time, I'm afraid we'll have to wind up quickly in a minute. Can you please give us a message to our young aspirants who probably are hearing us and would be keen on joining our forces? Any message to them and to our countrymen in general?
You see, the thing is, I have been watching the TV, watching the political parties expressing their opinion, and then of course the youth activity, either it is in Jawaharlal Nehru University or in Gujarat, the Jignesh, Jignesh, or that Hardik Patel and things like that. They are the youngsters of today. They are tickling with they are tickling with the anti-national sentiments, and they are trying to inculcate or set an example of disunity, which is a very dangerous trend. So, to that extent, then our political leaders, you see, they want to oppose, but they cannot oppose unscrupulously. They have to be disciplined. They have a constructive role to play. They cannot debate on whether a national anthem or what is the status of national anthem or what is the status of national flag or a person like Owaisi saying the Muslim soldiers are dying or in Kashmir or something like that. These are most uh, irresponsible and irrelevant way of catching votes. So to that extent, the first message is, hey, gentlemen, those who are old enough and the young lot, I would suggest, please understand, youth is supposed to know politics. You is supposed to understand politics, but he is only mildly supposed to participate in politics because he has got a well-defined and focused role. That is studies, play well, and be disciplined, and join whatever stream which you like. There are so many streams, each trying to do good for the country. But as far as the army is concerned or the armed forces is concerned, there is a different flair. You have to have an aptitude for it. Develop that aptitude and join armed forces. I feel great even if I motivate one youth in a day or in a fortnight who, after seeing me, if he feels yes, he should join the armed forces. So this is the first message. One must understand the circumstances and the environment.
Yeah.
Then the other important, ma'am, you have time?
We are running out of time, sir. I'm sorry. Yes,
just
quickly you
one
can
more,
finish
just
that. Yes,
one
please.
sentence, one
Yes,
sentence.
please.
It is to understand the armed forces. It is not at all that it is hunky-dory. The armed forces is facing a lot of pressures all around. And to that extent, you must take special interest in the armed forces. After all, they are for the people, by the people, and of the people. There should be no doubts about it. And to that extent, it is it is the taxpayers' money on which the armed forces have to equip themselves, and it is the emotional support of the citizens which makes the armed forces fight. It is not that only the guns matter. It is the man behind the gun, and for that man, it is the citizens of the country which support. I think.
Yes, sir. Definitely agree on that. It's the man behind the gun, and he definitely needs great moral support from his countrymen, his fellow men. It's an honor to have you, sir, but I'm afraid, and it's not fair for us to ask you to share your experiences through the forces for such a long term that you had served our nation. But fortunately, we'll have you soon again on another episode, and would look and love to hear more about you. So for this evening, we'll have to sign off, sir, and we're truly honored and privileged to have you on our show. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on Jai Hind this evening, and we'll sign off with our national anthem. Please stay along with us, sir.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे
was an honor, and we thank you so much for your time. Look forward to having you on another episode on Jai Hind, and we are indeed very proud of you, sir. Thank you so
I
much,
must
sir.
thank you. Yeah, I must thank you. And you are doing a human service of bringing the armed forces and the citizens together. It's a very important task these days when we are full of pressures. Thank you indeed, Jaya.
Thank you so much, sir. A very happy Raksha Bandhan to you once again, and wishing you a great life ahead, sir. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind.
So that was our Col.SK.BEDI ji, and thanks to all our listeners and our friend who called in. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a lovely evening, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you so much. And ఈరోజు వింటున్న వారు